Hey guys, it's Larissa here, and today we're going to talk about the TFSA, what it is, how it works, the rules, the mistakes people make, and what you should actually invest inside your TFSA. I created a breakdown so you can understand it once and for all to make everything easier. So what is a TFSA? TFSA stands for tax-free savings account, but honestly, the name is not what it sounds like. When people hear savings accounts, they think of boring banking accounts with tiny bits of interest, but your TFSA is way more powerful than that. Think of your TFSA like a big tax-free container. Inside the container, you can hold stocks, ETFs, bonds, GICs, REITs, mutual funds, and even cash. Everything that grows inside that container grows completely tax-free. If you earn dividends, tax-free. If you earn interest, tax-free. If your investments go up and you sell for a profit, tax-free. If your dividends get reinvested automatically, still tax-free. That's why the TFSA is one of the most powerful tools that we have here in Canada. Now, why does the TFSA matter so much? In Canada, whenever you make money, the government usually wants that piece. And that includes income from your job, business income, and investment income. If you earn that outside the TFSA, you have to pay tax. But if you earn it inside a TFSA, you keep all of it. So the same investment usually grows faster inside the TFSA than in a normal taxable account. Now let's talk about a really common mistake. A lot of Canadians use their TFSA like a regular savings account. So usually they just park cash in there, earning maybe 2% interest and sometimes nothing. The problem is that's basically just keeping up with inflation. Also, the tax you would pay on 1 or 2% is almost nothing. So if you use your TFSA as a basic savings account with a low interest, you are kind of wasting that valuable contribution room. Your TFSA should be treated as a tax-free investments account, not just a simple savings account. Now let's talk about the TFSA contribution limit, because yes, it has a limit. Your TFSA room does not depend on how much money you make. It depends on your age and the yearly TFSA limit set by the government. You start to earning TFSA room in the year you're turning 18. And every year the government sets a limit. In a lot of recent years, it's been around $7,000 per year. If you don't use your room, it keeps accumulated. So over time, your lifetime room adds up. Here are a couple of examples based on older limits. If you were born in 1991 or earlier and you never contributed, your lifetime room as of 2026 would be $109,000. If you were born in 1996, your total room by 2026 would be $83,500. If you turn 18 in 2026, your TFSA contribution room starts that year, which means your total room is the limit of $7,000. Now let's talk about the contribution and the withdrawals, because this is really important. Every time you put money into your TFSA, that amount uses up some of your contribution room. Every time you take the money out to your TFSA account, you get the money back, but not right away. You only get the money back in January 1st of the next year. Let's walk through an example so you can understand exactly how the contribution room works. In this example, we are looking at someone who was born in 1993. And that means their total TFSA contribution room up to 2026 is $99,000, assuming they never contributed before. Now let's break it down. This person has already contributed $70,000 over the years. And since the total room is $99,000, that means they still have $29,000 of available room. Now look at the next column. During 2026, they withdrawn $10,000 from their TFSA. And here is the part many people get confused about. Withdrawals do not give your room back right away. You only get the room returned on January 1st of the next year. So on December 21st of 2026, Their situation is they have contributed $70,000 in total. They withdrew $10,000, so their remaining contribution room for 2026 stays the same, $29,000, because withdrawals doesn't refresh till the next year. Now here's what happens on January 1st, 2027. They get two things back: their used room, $29,000, and the amount they withdrew last year, $10,000, plus the new TFSA annual limit for 2027. Let's assume it's $7,000. So their new contribution room becomes $46,000 starting January 1st, 2027. That's why the final column shows the number increasing, because the withdrawal is added back the following year. Again, the key is if you withdraw money, you need to wait till January 1st of the next year to put the money back in. If you recontribute the withdrew money in the same year, you can accidentally go over your limit. And over-contributing really hurts. If you go over your TFSA limit, the CIA charges a 1% penalty monthly on the extra amount. So if you accidentally over-contributed by $10,000, that is $100 every month till you fix it. That adds up fast. So it's super important to keep tracking on how much you've been putting, how much you've been take out, and how much you actually have left. If you're not sure about your number, you can always check the TFSA contribution room directly on the CRA website. By the way, guys, if this is helping you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It only takes 1 second and really helps the channel. Now, what about having more than one TFSA account? And yes, you're allowed to have multiple TFSA accounts. For example, one TFSA at your bank as a savings account and one TFSA at an online brokerage for investing. That's totally fine. But all your TFSAs share the same contribution room. So you cannot put your full limit in each of the accounts. The limit is across of all of them combined. Now here is where the TFSA gets really excited. Tax-free growth. You are only allowed to contribute a certain amount, but your investments can grow way beyond what you put in. For example, let's say over the years you contributed a total of $70,000. Then your investments do well and grow to $100,000. That's completely allowed. All the growth is tax-free. If you withdraw the full $100,000, next year you get that entire $100,000 back as contribution room, plus the new annual limit for that year. That's the magic for tax-free growth. But that is also a trap you really want to avoid. Imagine you contribute that $100,000 into your TFSA, but you put it all into a super risky stocks. Those stocks crash and now your TFSA is only worth $10,000. If you withdraw that $10,000, next year your contribution room is $10,000 plus the new year limit. You do not get the original $100,000 of space back. That lost room is gone forever. So if you gamble with risk stocks in your TFSA and lose, you're not just losing money today. You're shrinking the future potential of your TFSA for the rest of your life. That's why your TFSA should not be treated like a casino or a day trade account. So what should you actually invest in inside your TFSA? Some of the best things to hold inside your TFSA are Canadian dividend ETF and Canadian dividend stocks. They usually pay regular income, and if that income would be outside a TFSA, you'd pay tax on that income every single year. If that income was inside a TFSA, you pay zero tax for those dividends. That means more money stay invested, keep it compounding, and helps your account grow faster. This is actually what I do today, and I think that's the safest strategy I found so far. Now let's talk about what you may want to avoid holding in your TFSA. In general, try to avoid very risky stocks, short-term trading, or the trading US dividend stocks. Why avoid the US dividend stocks in a TFSA? Because even inside the TFSA, the US government usually take a 15% withholding tax of those dividends. So the TFSA does not protect you from that. So you end up losing part of your income for no reason. Guys, the TFSA is honestly one of the best tools the Canada government has given to regular investors. Use it wisely, track your contribution and withdrawals, avoid overcontributing, don't treat it like a gambling account, fill it with solid long-term investments. If you still have some questions, drop them in the comments. And if you want to see exactly how I invest inside my own TFSA and which ETF I use, watch this video. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.